Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to SOMA. Simon has returned to the dive room inside of Omicron. We collected all three of the necessary parts that we needed in order to get the dive suit operational so that we can take it and go down into the abyss and hopefully find the Ark. So once you have the three items, you basically just come up to the body here and you start putting on the pieces one by one.
This is crazy.
Don't worry, it'll work. Make sure it's all bunched together with the structure gel connecting all the parts. Alright, try activating the suit from the terminal again.
Science! That's how we repair a body, apparently. We just throw some gel on, a battery, and a new head, and there you go. Alright, let's go ahead and activate this thing and see if it works. It looks like it's working.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Awesome.
It will be fine.
Then why don't we put you in the suit?
I was gonna suggest that if you refused.
You'd go without me.
I need to do this, Simon. This is important. I need to launch the Ark.
You'd really do it? Change body?
Yes. If you want to stay here, I'm not gonna stand in your way. I don't want to tell you what to do.
What would it be like before? Close my eyes and then...
And then open them again.
Alright, let's do it.
Thank you, Simon. Go sit in the pilot seat in the next room. You might need to boot it up.
I really appreciate that Catherine would be willing to take matters into her own hands. She's not really using Simon. I guess to a degree you could argue that she is kind of using him, but I think they are kind of working together more or less. But obviously Catherine hasn't really been able to do anything up to this point except for guide Simon and tell him what to do and where to go, you know, helping us by accessing files and being inside the Omni tool. But at this opportunity, she could very well have herself go instead of Simon. And I appreciate that about her, actually. I appreciate that she's like, nah, fuck it. If you're gonna be that way, I'm gonna do it myself. Alright, so we want to get into the pilot seat here, but we can't do it until we just solve one more
You need to loop back
puzzle.
the activity manifested by your current Cortex chip, run it through the amplifier, feed it into the new chip, and then make sure it's synced.
You lost me halfway there.
You don't really need to understand it, just make them line up.
So yeah, you need to make the two red lines line up, and you can change the solid red line. You can't change the dotted red line. So you can mess around with the way that these lines look and the way that they move to try and line everything up perfectly. So from what I remember, we have to set the frequency down to 1, the offset at 5, and the amplitude at 7. Yeah, 5 is close, but 7 is right on the money. So once you've lined the two dots up, you can lock the parameters,
everything.
and that's
you
it.
can climb into the pilot seat now.
Already?
I have everything under control, so please, have a seat.
I'm having some deja vu. I kind of feel like that's probably what she told
Go sit in the
people
pilot seat.
when they were getting scanned for the Ark, because they used the pilot seat to scan them into the Ark.
Sorry about any discomfort, this should be over soon.
It's like having your picture taken.
But with the most expensive camera in the world,
You know, Indian stock photos would steal their souls.
in this case, they'd be right.
And that's a callback to the conversation that Simon had with Dr. Munchie at the beginning of the game. Aha! It worked! Thanks, Catherine. Awesome.
There must be something wrong. Can't you run a diagnosis or something?
Oh.
What was that?
No, it's just,
Why was it still talking?
it's the same like before.
Catherine, why was he still talking?
That's how it works, you know that.
What do you mean?
You know it's not magic. You were copied. The sleeping Simon in the seat was copied, and now you are here, just like Simon lived on in Toronto.
God damn you, Kath. 2 Simons? There can't be 2 Simons.
What did you think would happen?
That you were gonna take my mind and put it into another body, like a brain transplant.
I'm sorry, it wouldn't work that way.
You realize how messed up this is?
Please, I didn't mean to upset you.
How did you expect me to react to this shit?
Please stop.
You're fucking disgusting. What's gonna happen to him?
He'll sleep for a while, a few days.
And then what? Wake up in this fucking nightmare again? All alone? So cruel.
Well, what do you want me to do with him? Make friends? Let him know that we have to leave him behind when we go into the abyss?
What if he didn't need to wake up?
You'd do that?
I don't know. Maybe.
There. I set it up for you. Hit the switch if you want to drain his battery. He'll die within a minute. I'd rather not stay plugged in any longer.
I really feel like Simon overreacted a little bit there and went a little bit off the rails. I don't think it was necessary to yell at Catherine, especially because he should know by now. And I think I mentioned that when we first came to Omicron and we plugged her in at this console. I get a little bit frustrated with Simon's seemingly lack of the concept of how this all works, even though we're very, very deep into the game by now. But yeah, if you want to see what we looked like as we were walking around this whole time, this was us. This was Simon. So this was Imogen's body inside of a dive suit. We got our little robot head there. And so now Simon's brain has been moved into the new body of Riley Herber, and we've got ourselves a new suit. And yeah, it's completely up to you. Like Catherine said, you can leave this guy plugged in or you can unplug him. But I'm pretty sure that I have already murdered everything and everybody in this whole playthrough. So, I mean, we might as well unplug him. Fuck it. There's no sense in leaving him plugged in. And then you'll see just slowly his battery will drain and you'll die. Again, I guess you could argue that Simon thinks Catherine's a horrible person for doing what she did and him not understanding how this whole thing works. But you could also argue that Simon could maybe be a murderer by doing what he thinks is best by unplugging the robot. So again, it's completely based upon your perception and what you think is right and wrong. But that's it for Omicron. We're leaving. We're done. We're leaving old Simon Body behind, and we're getting into Simon Body version 2. You'll also get yourself a nice achievement when you pop out of here and you go out onto the platform. I also thought that Catherine sounded pretty distressed as well. I don't think she's happy about having to do all of this, but I think she just believes it's necessary. It just has to be done. If she wants to launch the Ark and she wants to save humanity, then this is all a necessary evil. But she didn't sound happy about it. She wasn't thrilled. It's not like she enjoys it. I'm sure she feels bad too. And if you look over, you can actually see that we are on the other side of Omicron, because over there is the radio tower. And then that would have been near the entrance where we had come into Omicron. So we're now going to take the climber and go down into the abyss. Would have been a lot shorter of a game if we were able to just take the Dunbat. Hopefully this works. And there's going to be a lot of talking in this section, so I'm probably just going to leave it to Catherine and Simon here.
Are we done here?
Yeah,
Activate the climber, please.
sure thing.
Awkward! So we're going to set the climber to descend with one passenger. Once you set the correct parameters, you can go ahead and pull the switch. And then take a seat.
Take a seat and we'll be off.
You fucked up, Simon. Catherine must feel horrible. She's giving you that silent treatment.
Have we figured out what happens when we die yet? Is that even possible? Is there some kind of afterlife? Do you think my place is taken? The real me died like 100 years ago. Is there still room for me? And what about the Simon I killed at Omicron? What do you think, Catherine? Is there a heaven full of redundant copies of the same people? Is there someone up there who called me an imposter? It's dumb luck, right? That I woke up in the right body. I basically flipped a coin, and if I had called the wrong side, I'd be rotting away at Omicron. I mean, there's nowhere to know, right? You didn't hit the make sure Simon wakes up in the right body switch, did you? Not that you would know. I mean, he would still claim to be the right Simon. Christ. This is awful. We did an awful fucking thing. And you wouldn't mind? Why would you? How could you know that it's not me, the me that I am, the same that I've always been? Please say something. I don't want to think. Please.
I don't know what to say. I don't want to upset you.
Say anything.
When I was little, I used to climb the stairs all the way to the top of the building. And I can still feel how I had to, tuck my arm so I could push the heavy steel door open. Well, the first time that I dared go up there, I stepped out onto the roof and watched the smog rise and fall over Taipei. I got all the way up to the corner ledge and, I felt the warm wind in my hair and the sun was setting and the streets below were shadowed by the tall buildings. The people pushing through the crowd flowed like paint from an artist's brush. Street food vendors filled the air with aromas of all my favorite foods. For a brief moment, I felt connected to the world in a way that I never had before. It was the most profound feeling of comfort and sense of belonging I could ever hope for. I really never felt the same way again, but I went up to the roof many times after. I'm not religious, but I can see why people would be. The privilege of being makes a strong case, at least every once in a while.
Do you still feel that sense of awe? Even like this?
Things are different, but we're still here.
What's the point of going on? Everyone's gone. All the people still left are digital copies trapped in computers at the bottom of the sea. We'll never be able to rebuild or reclaim what we were.
Are you really so unhappy being what you are, or is this about the man who went for a scan 100 years ago?
Both, I guess. When I was back in Toronto, even the worst case, the darkest futures I could predict, they at least included my previous life somehow. I feel so uprooted. There's nothing here that I recognize, nothing that makes me feel like I belong. Even if we make it to the Ark, would it be any different? I'd still be alone. No friends. No family.
You could make new friends. I'm sure everyone would like to know the time traveler. If not, you still have...
Catherine? Oh god, please not here.
Catherine? Kath?
This is absolutely, positively
Catherine.
the worst place
What
that
happened?
this thing could ever get stuck in. Oh god. Oh god. I would be in full panic if I was Simon right about now because holy Christ, you can't see anything. It is so dark. This is like the darkest depths of the ocean, you know? And it's not like I'm gonna climb back up that cable. Yeesh. Rusted hunk of junk. I hope you can get us down to the bottom. I do like all these glowing fish, though. That's kind of cool.
Hey, I know it's not much, but why have we stopped moving?
The power blacked out for a moment. Think it could be the atmospheric pressure. It's pushing pretty hard, really testing the limits of my suit.
Don't worry, it should hold.
Comforting.
It will hold.
It should hold? Oh my god, I hope so. Yeah. That's terrible.
Does time freeze when you're not powered?
Time feels omitted more than anything.
What's the difference?
I don't feel like I'm being held back or hindered. And I don't have the opportunity to reflect on the time I'm missing. It's simply missing.
Sounds like sleeping without the dreaming.
Yes, but generally you anticipate when you're about to sleep, and there's a natural continuation since we tend to wake up where we went to sleep. My experience is more like an ever-changing moment that never really seems to find closure.
Sounds kind of like a movie being edited live.
I suppose so. I guess it sounds exciting, but it really keeps me activated to the point of exhaustion.
It's rough.
Could be worse. Could be a time traveler stuck in a body made from black goo.
That'd be the worst.
You can see that everything is starting to go kind of fuzzy with the pressure down here. I mean, obviously we haven't exploded yet, but... Oh, what now? Oh, lovely. Hi.
You did it! You did it! I will make preparations.
Oh, good, you're back.
What happened?
Something dropped onto the cage. Knocks you right out.
Spoke to me.
Looked like a man, one of WoW's creatures. It just stared at you for a moment, then threw itself down the abyss.
It said it would make preparations. I didn't like the sound of that.
It was very strange. I thought it was gonna kill you for sure. I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me 3.
Looks like we're closing in on the ocean floor.
Good, not sure the climber can take it much longer. Okay, so this is the Omega Sector. It's about an acre of the abyssal plan used by Pathos 2. I expect we'll have to do some walking before we reach Tau.
You haven't been here before?
Not in a way that'll help us.
Right, the other you has been here. We're following in your old footsteps, Kat.
When I had footsteps.
You could still be down here somewhere, technically.
Don't remind me, freaks me out. Alright, let's head for Tau and find that ark.
So we gotta remember too that Catherine's scan would have been done very, very early on. I think hers was the first scan done for the ARC project. So she knows that she came down here to deliver the ARC, or at least we know that. But she doesn't really know what it felt like to do that, because her scan was of memories before that happened, if, you know, that makes any sense. And this would be the point of absolutely no return. I mean, this game is linear anyways, we can't really do any backtracking, but if you were able to backtrack, then this would kind of be the point of no return, because as we had read and seen in Omicron, the climber can only be activated from Omicron. You have to kind of set the climber to drop people off and pick people up, so we are absolutely now just completely stuck in the abyss. So this area is unsafe and we have to stay close to the lights. And again, this area, the abyss, is going to be very, very, very dark. I'm going to do my best in editing to lighten it up. The video quality might suffer a little bit because I'm going to have to lighten it up so much, but I'd much rather you guys be able to see what I'm doing and sacrifice a little bit of video quality. So there's a couple of things here that we can look at. It looks like they were checked on, probably Tau, I would assume. Were checked on in August by Julia, who we recall was working at Omicron. The Tau evacuation was scheduled for the 13th of September, it looks like. But then it's saying later on, so 11:30 in the morning, the evacuation was scheduled, and it's saying by 2:30 that it had failed, which is interesting. I guess we're going to have to find more about that when we actually make it over to Tau. And then we have the ARC team on the 26th of December bringing the ARC down to Phi. So... wow, that's actually a very long time from the two dates that the climber was used or reported on. We're talking a span of a few months, from September until December. So Tau and Phi are very, very isolated. I would absolutely just hate to work down here. It seems like a punishment. I mean, this place is just god-awful. And we're safe in this area, so I'm going to stop it here and we'll continue on in the next video, descending into the abyss. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.